What is it that success is really about? Now, I've been brought up with this, and I'm sure that many of you can relate, and that is that usually we think of success as achievement. The more you achieve, the more recognized you are, the better you are at whatever it is that you do, then the more successful you are, and therefore the more life should be good. The more that you should be feeling happy, the more that you'll have more things than other people, and so on and so forth. Comment below if you feel the same way as I do, that that's supposed to be your goal. Sadly, many of us have been brought up with that feeling, with that notion that success in life really is just that. Achieving things, going further, getting more degrees, getting paid more, moving up the corporate ladder, maybe going to a very good school or college, and that's what life is about, right? Well, that's the interesting part, because what many people don't talk about is that there are many people out there who happen to be very achieved, but who also happen to be very unhappy. And we've seen it in some cases of people who were very famous, celebrities who have actually sadly committed suicide, among other things, and many other people who just live with that pain inside, or who are feeling alone, or are very unhappy even though they have achieved a lot. Now, in this video, I'm not going to convince you that you should just be a bohemian person or someone who's like a hippie, like they call them. I have nothing against that kind of lifestyle, but I'm not saying don't achieve. I'm not saying achievement is bad. I'm not saying money is bad. No, all those things are great, but they in and of themselves are not what make you happy. And at the end of the day, what is really success? This is something that each of us has to define for ourselves, right? But before we go any further, remember to smash the like button in this video so that other people just like you can see it, because it helps with the algorithm. Essentially, you have to define for yourself what is happiness. Maybe you are the kind of person who needs to achieve to feel like you are growing, to feel like you are someone. But even then, many of us often find that once you've achieved that goal, you don't even celebrate. You're already thinking of what's next, and you're already feeling the same way you were feeling before. Maybe you were saving up or trying to get that raise to get that better car, and once you got it, you felt great for an entire day, if you know what I mean. It just goes off quickly, that high that you get from getting that goal done. So what is the problem here? Well, the problem is that many of us, sometimes in order to achieve those goals, we are willing to go and do a lot of things, basically the process of achieving that goal. We have to do a lot of things that sometimes we don't actually like. Sometimes we do things that we don't just to get those goals in. And we don't even stop and think, whoa, is there a different way to achieve that goal that actually makes me feel happy about it, that actually makes me enjoy the process of achieving? That's something that we need to think about, and something that needs to be part of the conversation. More importantly than that, though, even if we just think of achievement and we put it on the side for a moment, and we're going to get a little bit more mental here, and that has to do with, is success, like having a good, fulfilling life, really achieving? Or is it about having happiness and having good relationships and other things that could make you or someone else or me happy, right? Because we're all different, but those are things that generally raise your happiness levels. Having good relationships, being able to rest, being able to, let's say, play, to have a life outside of work, so to speak, or having a work life that is very fulfilling and that you can integrate with other aspects of your life, right? So this is something that people don't talk about. If you talk about happiness, then you're either an idiot, or you're not an alpha guy, or an alpha woman, or you're just not someone who knows what they're doing, right? We're all supposed to be trying to climb the ladder, or trying to achieve more and become more. And sometimes many of us slack off because deep down we know that that's not who we are. That maybe we want to do something different. That maybe just trying to backstab someone in the office to get that other position that's going to open up is not really what I feel like I should be doing. Maybe the job that you have currently is not a job that fulfills you. But at the same time, when you think about what other people will think, when you think about what your parents will think, when you think of, I don't know, anyone else that goes through your mind, when you think of a decision like that, you immediately think back and you say, oh, what will people think of me if I make that choice? What will I say, like that I chose to be happy? Like, no one's gonna believe that. And then what happens is that we stay complacent in the same place that we are, and we just live lives that are not our fullest, simply because we are paying too much attention to other people's opinions. Oftentimes they don't even tell you those opinions. Even if they have them, sometimes they don't have those. So you must ask yourself, is that really what I want? What is it really that I want? Do I want to be here in this office like every day? Will I rather do something else? Will I like to do a project after work? Will I like to take on different tasks at work that I think will be more interesting, more challenging for me, right? Do I want to have a trip somewhere that I've never had? Even though some people might think differently of me, or maybe everyone's going to Europe and I really just want to go to Asia or maybe to the Middle East. The point I'm trying to make here is that we've all been, based on our society standards and how we've been raised and the kinds of people that we mess with, we've all been in a way brainwashed into what we call social norms, which is one of the biggest and most powerful criteria of like influence, right? One of the biggest ways to influence someone is to put them in an environment where there are certain rules or unspoken norms that you're supposed to follow. This means that if you are in a family that doesn't eat meat, then you're going to be raised up as someone who is not necessarily a very big meat lover. Similarly, if you were raised in a family that didn't have those restrictions, you might think of veggies as, what the, they don't eat meat? What's wrong with them, right? So that's something that is very big and very strong. This is something that you can feel in many different ways. Maybe you started being part of a club and you've been part of them for a while now. And the closer they are to your infancy, the closer they are to being people who are very influential on you, like your parents, then the stronger that social norm influence is going to be. Similarly, if you've always lived in the same country, same city, same kinds of jobs, mixing with the same types of people, then you're gonna have, and you may not even know this because you haven't had the opportunity to have a contrasting experience. That's why traveling can be very helpful for that. You won't even know that you have all of these social norms or ways of behavior that are very one-dimensional, but at the same time are keeping you from doing those things that could really make you enjoy your life to the fullest or get the most out of it, even if sometimes getting out of that comfort zone can feel uncomfortable. So basically that's something that we need to talk about, like happiness and fulfillment and achievement. It's interesting because oftentimes we see achievement as a way to get that fulfillment, to get that happiness, right? That we seek. It's like, yeah, I mean, I know that if I work hard and I get so far, I'm gonna be happy then. Well, that's not the case. Like, it's not the case. Lots of people have gotten there and do not feel that fulfillment, and lots of people who have less than you and I do are considerably happier and more fulfilled than we are. Then why is that? Why is there such a dichotomy? Well, from other experts I've seen, especially I believe Tony Robbins, who I cite a lot, this is something interesting that I remember him mentioning once, and I believe that's true based on my own experiences and the experiences of others. And that is achievement and success in business and work, achieving essentially at school, everywhere. That is a process. That's something that you can learn based on strategies from mentors, other people who have done it, that you can put those right steps in place, and over time you'll be able to achieve. You'll be able to reach those goals or get very close to them. But happiness, feeling fulfilled, feeling happy about everything that you have, feeling grateful, that is not a process. Happiness is not a series of steps that take you to that golden land, to that promised land. What they've mentioned, and again, I find this to be true, is that happiness is really a decision. Happiness is a habit of thought. Are your thoughts usually more to critique, to analyze, to see the wrong things in life? Or are your thoughts usually more of a positive nature, more of like seeing the good things in life? And even though you don't necessarily have to be an ultra optimist of sorts, you can be someone who sees things accurately, but from a slightly optimistic point of view with regards to the future, with regards to how things will go. Every single day that you're living is slipping by, and we're getting closer and closer to that day in which we will perish, unless someone comes up and creates like the elixir of immortality for us humans, right? Which hasn't happened yet as of the recording of this video. Therefore, what will be best than actually achieving while having that feeling of happiness all along the way? This is something that may sound stupid. It's like, well, you're just telling me to think positively and like, but no, this is something that you practice, right? Like it's, I believe I mentioned it on another video. This one's going pretty long already, but I'm gonna be very short. Essentially, you gotta think of it as catching your own thoughts. If you think of something that you wanna do and then you immediately shut it down, then practice not doing that. Practice telling yourself, you know what, that sounds like a silly excuse. I could try this, I could do that. Maybe there's a problem that you haven't fixed. What could I do to fix that, right? Like change the questions in your mind and start changing slowly. Some people find that meditation and doing things like, they call it, and some people call it like incantations, like reciting things to yourself, affirmations, things like those, like help them. I find that those are useful. But at the same time, the whole point is to start changing that pattern of thought so that most of the time, instead of being critical and negative, you start becoming more positive and open-minded and more happy generally with the way things are going in your life currently. And that's going to attract more happiness and better relationships, among other things. So this video is already pretty long, but I just wanted to make it a little open discussion with regards to what is it that success really is about. To leave you with it, one of the quotes that I really like from someone I learned a lot from is that basically success is over a period of time reaching or getting closer to the goals that you have set out for yourself while having fun doing it. So some of you may know who that person is who said that. If not, that's completely fine. Comment below if you have anything to add to this conversation, or if you disagree with me, or if you found an interesting point over anything that I said that you would like to talk more about. Let me know. If you haven't done so yet, remember to smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you know whenever a new video comes out.